So what is up, guys? We are back. Today we have the new parts for the engine. We do need to clean them, even though they are new. It is advised you clean them. I have them right over there. But first things first, I'm going to put some gloves on because we will be running with the some more of that mineral spirits, and it's not very good to get on your hands. It might already swell up as is. So let's go and get started. Go. Let me get my phone slash recording camera. So here is our new box of goodies for the truck. I'm getting more and more excited the closer I get to getting this done. Let me put it over here. All right, but first off, we will go ahead and I'll unbox it, let you all see it. All right, so I did go ahead and decide to go with some roller rockers, some full rollers, roller tip, fulcrum. This is a kit. Comes with all the stuff you need to put them on. And I do already have the guide plates in my head, so I can use them. Let me try to adjust this camera a little bit more. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's good. All right, so you know, when you get these, you do need to clean them out because sometimes some machining stuff's left in there, and this grease or oil, whatever's on it, it can hold on to some leftover machining marks and dust and stuff like that, and it will cause your roller rockers to fail quickly. I can take these out, and I will have to go over this side of them one more time because if you can actually see it, it's pretty dirty. But for now, we're just gonna stick them right there. All those push rods, and we are gonna get all this cleaned out, hopefully. And sorry I haven't been able to put out a video in a while. It's been raining like crazy here in Tennessee. It's like we've had there was something else in there. Oh, come on. I gotta turn the light on because there was definitely something else in there. Ugh. I don't know if I can get through here. It's a giant hole. Light switch, come on. Alright, there we go. Don't remember there being anything else in there or left in there. But let's see. Oh, okay, so it was just some washers that were left from those exhaust bolts, which I'm pretty sure used to be intake manifold bolts. But here we are. Let's go lock this back. All right, so I'm gonna just put a little bit in here, just kind of rinse this last little bit of dirt. I guess I should have just left the door unlocked. All right, because even though that wouldn't be as lethal as machining stuff, it could still cause an issue. All right, so I'll wipe it out with a rag the rest of the way. Oh, looks brand new. There we go. That'll work. All right, so I'm going to go to a time lapse on this. I'm kind of going to go over the one by itself to kind of show what I'm doing. It's best to let this sit overnight, but I do want to go ahead and set them in the oil. I'm going to set them in some break-in oil. You know, that's, you know, just regular oil would work, but I don't have any regular oil for this type of bearing. But I'm going to go ahead and open up the rest of this package. Out of breath, I haven't done anything yet. Open up the rest of this package. Kind of just inspect them all for damage. And how do you like put them on the vehicle? You have to test fit them. That one feels a little tight, but let's see what we can get out of there. All right, so I'm just gonna roll around. Try to roll it around in the mineral spirits while it's submerged. All right, so it definitely is taking something off because it has discolored a little bit. And then we are going to set this off to the side. I'll move my phone / remote here, and I'm gonna just lay them on this rag with the fulcrum facing down. That way it can kind of drain out. And we're just gonna keep moving down the line. I'm gonna switch over to timeline and I'll be right back. Going. The only thing I was kind of feeling for every now and then is just, you know, see if there's any play in the bearing. Make sure they're not too tight. All of them felt pretty good. I will admit this is my first set of rollers, like full roller rockers that I've been bought. If you would like to see something like that, definitely leave a comment in the comment section. But here's what I really wanted to show everybody. Now, these are just 16 roller rockers that I cleaned up, and, you know, I was basically just trying to get the grease off of them, but this is actually what the fluid looks like now. It went from nice and, well, let me see if I can get it on camera. Nice and clear, if I can find the lens. It's somewhere. Yeah, there it is. It's nice and clear to pretty freaking dirty. Alright, so that is why you clean your parts. Now granted, all this has already been cleaned. These, I'm going to have to go over the other sides that have been out in the weather. I mean, the other side is clean now. I do need to put some assembly lube on these once I get them officially clean. That way I don't have to worry about them gunking up like this again. But I do feel like I might be able to wipe it off. Let me see. If not, that's fine. I'll just soak them. Like I said, it's still a debate whether or not I'm going to get some new ones, because I did kind of have my eye on some one-piece ones. That way I didn't have to worry about these balls breaking off. Even though I don't even know how these are put together, but it just looks like a ball that's going to fall off. But some one pieces would be nice, but then I have to actually measure them. And a tape measure is not exactly the most accurate way. All right, and then another thing you probably don't really need to clean, but if you're, I might as well, are the actual, you know, nut / adjusters that come with them. I mean, they do have pretty much the same thing. It comes on the rockers, so they could probably use a quick cleaning. These, I'm going to use the same solution, and I'm just going to kind of agitate it. And then just gonna drop them right on the piece here. I do want to soak all this in oil. That way the bearings don't end up rusting up on me. So now I got those out. I gotta go grab the oil and then one other thing, and then I'll go over a little bit what I plan on doing or what I'm wanting to do. They do come with instructions and a couple giant stickers. Protect your investment. Basically just tells you that they have, you know, their own line of wool. I do have some of their break-in oil somewhere, but it's apparently not on there. Alright, so flaking or galling, any imperfections. So basically, this says you can use the old ones, but you want to definitely inspect it for galling or flaking. Mine, I don't believe they had any galling or flaking. And they all looked pretty good. Obviously this end doesn't look that great, but it's just from where they've been sitting here. Basically degreased and kind of in the weather. It has been like a random monsoon here. Not real sure why we've got this much rain here lately, but it has been pretty bad. Still need to put my collectors on just loosely because I will probably like pull it to the exhaust shop once I get all that done. Just because it's, I don't want to drive it that far on open headers, especially with being shorty headers like they are. But let me go get what I need to get real fast, and then I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back. I got all the stuff that I have as of right now for the truck. I do need to get my old dipstick and measure this one with it to compare, because obviously I did need to put a new one in it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really sure where this clear tube goes. So I do need to compare it. I wish I would have measured beforehand. And I do have some intake gaskets. Not a fan of the cork ends, but they'll have to work for now. If anything, I'll put some different ones on later. But hopefully we can seal up at least the water jacket ports on the end and not have to worry about coolant getting down into the bottom end. But I don't know if I've already shown you all this or not. We do have an electric water pump. It unfortunately was only available in blue, which actually turned out to not look as bad as I thought. Let me adjust the camera down. Yeah, so it ended up not looking as bad as I thought. But I'm still not a fan because I've got like 5 different colors going on. But if I would have saw this blue, I would have probably went and painted the engine, the whole entire engine this blue. It is a ProForm 35 gallon per minute water pump. It does come with, you know, the connector here, the gaskets, the wiring, inline fuse, pretty much all bolts, and they do come with a, this one at least did come with the adapter to go here to the radiator. Let's see if I can put this back in the box. Actually, let's put it back in this first because it has been dropped. I should have brought it up to him, but it has a big scratch here. So I should have brought it to him and tried to get some price off of it. And then, since I am running a flat tappet cam, you know, hydraulic flat tappet, I do have several quarts of brake-in oil. This is what I'm going to use to soak the rocker arms in as well. I just need to find a container big enough to put all of it in there at once and it still get on everything. And then, so a dipstick, intake, oh yeah. And then the project that took me about 2 days. I did take all the Chevy orange and like a black primer that was on it off. Sand it down the best I could. Kind of got somewhat of a polish to it. Obviously there's some spots that still had some pitting on it. And right there's the bad spot, but that will be covered up by a cross member. And then like in here, it was like very hard to get the remaining of the paint off. But I got it nice and smooth, got it degreased, and then I proceeded to put a clear coat over it as well. Just like the heads and the intake manifold, which the intake manifold ended up coming up like a satin. And then it just has like a weird glaze over the lines. I'm hoping they don't leak, but won't know until I get it all back together. But now I'm gonna empty this out because I don't want all that just sitting in there like it was before. Nice for the environment. Even though we just have clay here, so it doesn't go anywhere anyways. Let me get my header gaskets out of the way. Well, let me just throw them in the trash can. And we'll go and wipe this out and proceed to look for something to set the rocker arms in, because I need something big enough, and hopefully a quart will do. I know we have a big mixing thing somewhere, but I just have to find it. Alright, so I think I'm going to try to put everything in this bag and then just put the oil in there. Hopefully the fact that these do have some sort of mass, they'll take up enough mass to actually still soak each other in oil. And sounds bad, I don't like dropping them in there like that. Hopefully they'll actually all fit, because these things are pretty big and bulky. I did buy, I think, 6 quarts of break-in oil. You know, I don't necessarily know if you need to soak them in break-in oil, but can't hurt. Better than nothing, I guess. What do you want to throw these in there too? Because I did. No, I got one dirty just now. So that one's dirty. And hopefully 1 quart will do it. If not, I'll have to go get another quart, and I'm going to sit it on the rags though, just in case. I feel like 1 quart is definitely not going to be enough. Alright, so I'm just going to pour it all in there. Maybe enough. I'm going to try not to move it very much, just enough to kind of let it move them down in the oil. And then I'm going to try to find a rubber band, but that may not happen. Oh, I found a zip tie. Just trying to prevent any... Oh, of course, I got oil in my hand, so I can't open it. Come on. There we go. These are also very small zip ties, so I may need a couple of them. Alright, so just trying to keep any extra dirt and debris out. Man, these things are tiny. So I'm not going to be able to reach the whole entire hole, but so at least keep the majority of stuff out. I would rather put it somewhere that's not going to spin around on me, but I don't think it's happening. And as long as this doesn't leak, I can drain this back into the quart container that I put right there. And if I end up needing it for the engine, I can end up putting with rotating assemblies and stuff like that. Which basically you want a zinc and phosphorus additive. This also has a molybdenum, however you pronounce it, and just like regular detergents in it, like most oils. It says it protects all internal engine components, including both flat tappet and roller valve trains. The rollers just need oil on them, and a little bit of zinc. So I mean, this is just gonna be a break-in oil. Literally, when I start it, I have to run it for like 30 minutes. So I mean, I did hope to have the engine running by the time I made this video, but I still need to do the measuring on the radiator itself for the cooling fans, because without that it would just overheat. I have thought about just getting some universals and just kind of putting 2 universals on there, one right here, and then you have the radiator here. But we'll see. I mean, that would be the cheaper option, but in my opinion, it wouldn't be the best option. So I'm going to try to do it right. Also did pick up some 12-point intake bolts, ARP intake bolts. Yeah, you pay a little bit more for the ARP ones and their intake bolts. They don't need to be that fancy, but I did want some 12 points for it. Just kind of give it a little bit different look. And like I said before, with these, I do need some fabricated or tall style rocker arms. But just leave it in the comments if you want to see the clear or just a not stainless, but like a colored of some sort. And actually, I'll let y'all choose the color. If you want to pick a color for the rocker arms, leave it in the comment section. And the one with the most likes, I'll go with. Because I have a feeling I'm doing like some sort of purple or something, the way most of y'all are. But leave a picture, not picture, but at least just leave a color in the comments. And whatever has the most likes. And by the time I go to get the rocker arms, that's what I'll go with. Even though I'll probably regret it in the end, but y'all pick it out. It's up to y'all. But I did want to go with 2 of these style fans. The have their own shroud, just run them side by side. But it'll depend on what I can find for the size, because the radiator is pretty big, but the actual fin area is not that big. So it all depend on what actual space I have, and if I can find some fans for decent that will actually fit the build. I do need to go get the assembly lube, go ahead and put it on the lift or the push rods. That way, hopefully, they don't rust up or start pitting or anything like that. So I'm gonna go do that, and then I'll try to get everything else finalized. I went and got my motor assembly grease. Basically, put a thin coat on both sides of the push rods. That way, they're not completely dry when you first start it up. I do want to wipe this off because it's been out in the rain for, well, since I started putting the engine back together. Wipe it off. It's not a big necessity to wipe it off. I do want to put some more gloves on because this stuff actually does take some effort to get off. So I'll grab some more gloves here. Make sure I'm still recording. Yep, still recording. Let me adjust the camera down a little bit more. And then take my oil pan. Kind of run out of places to put things. Put it right there. And I'm gonna grab all these. I'm gonna wipe them off. That way it doesn't end up just making the assembly lube run off. And yeah, I'll go to the time lapse for this because obviously GoPro is Alright, so we did go ahead and get all those lubed up for tomorrow, hopefully. Those are soaking, and I will probably go ahead and fit the water pump on tomorrow. I won't start wiring it up until I get the rest of it together and ready to start up. But it is getting closer. I do have pretty much everything I need to put this engine back together except for the rocker arms. Not the rocker arms, but the valve covers. The cooling fan for the radiator, which will be on a toggle. It's either going to be on a toggle, or I'm going to get a fan controller and actually have an adjustable fan controller in there. That way it'll automatically turn on by itself, but I do want the adjustable one. That way if I am at the track, I can run the temperature down a little bit. I do still need to go get my dipstick and measure that, so I'm going to do that real fast. And yeah, hopefully it's the right length. If not, that means I have to take that back, and I'll probably take my other dipstick back to Tennessee Speed Sport. That way I can have it there and actually compare it, because it had that one and one other one. I wasn't a fan of the chrome, but that's all they had, and I needed a flexible one. So hopefully this works. If not, they do have another size I can compare it to. As long as the length is right, which it looks like it may be a little short. It's definitely going to be short. Markings, let's see if the markings are at least right. It's kind of hard to see it. There's the add and the full. Markings are correct. And realistically, I feel like this will work since there's so much more of this tube. Because there's almost as much tube as there's dipstick here. Probably would be if you straightened it all out, but I feel like this will probably work. So I'll try to get that on tomorrow as well. I do plan on having the oil pan in, the dipstick in, rocker arms and push rods in. I do want to go ahead and put the intake on and the water pump on. I'm just going to start using this as a pointer. That way, if I end up getting a new HEI distributor, which I really do want to because the oil seal in mine was blown, so while you're running, it would actually be pumping up oil up into the top of the HEI, and then it would eventually leak out onto the intake. And this is all brand new, and pretty much the heads are too. So I really don't want to ruin them by, pretty much pumping oil up into the distributor and leaking all over the place. And that would be a leak I need fixed anyways. And realistically, the only way to fix it without having it rebuilt, because I don't know anyone around here that rebuilds them, is just to replace it. But I also don't know the condition of the one that was on it. The chrome on it was in good shape, but there's always that chance. And then some plastic pieces that cover electronics was kind of coming apart on it. So, I mean, it needed replaced anyways. That oil seal is just one thing on top of it that kind of pushed me to go ahead and get a replacement. I don't have one yet, so obviously I will have to wait on that to do an actual startup, even though I'm running out of patience. But I do still have some time left for the deadline of May 18th, when it will be at the show at the Huntsville Customs Next Level. But definitely make sure you stay tuned, and as soon as I get it started up, we will have a kind of like a show around. I didn't think about it till now. Both the rocker arms, if you're interested in the part number, it is part number 17001-16. These are 1:5 ratio rockers, so it's just a factory small block Chevy rocker ratio. I thought about going with 1/6s, but I feel like to run that ratio effectively, I would have to degree my cam, and I don't have the degree tool to do it, one, accurately, and two, safely. So I feel like, because right now it's just at a 0 setting, pretty much factory cam setting, because Comp does kind of adjust from their factory to run the cams a little better at a dead set 0. That way you don't have to worry about piston and valve clearance, hopefully. But once we get the rocker arms and stuff in, I kind of just adjust it out, which that'll be all in the next video. I will show you just a kind of a quick way. Obviously, you'll still need to go through it and make sure you get your lash and everything set correctly, but I will show you a quicker way to a small block Chevrolet, as far as tightening down the rocker arms. And then hopefully I'm going to try to get some machinist die and put them on top of the valves. That way, once I rotate them over a couple times, hopefully it'll kind of leave a mark of where they rubbed. As long as they're pretty much dead center on the valves, the rockers on the valves, then my geometry will be right. If not, there is going to have to be some adjustments in the push rod length. Hopefully we don't run into that, but definitely stay tuned. There will be more, and we are about to get this thing running. So see you next time.